It has finally happened. India has now officially overtaken China to become the world's single most populated country. For my entire life, and probably most of you watching this video, China has always been the world's most populated country, and in fact since 1950, since the UN's records began. China has been the world's single most populated country for hundreds of years. It has been overtaken before, such as in around the year 1900, when the British Empire had a higher population. But that includes many countries, so it doesn't really count. However, in April of 2023, the inevitable happened. India overtook China to become the world's most populated country. India will now remain the world's most populated country for the foreseeable future. Its population is set to climb to around 1.7 billion before plateauing and then falling. By the year 2100, India's population is set to have peaked and actually dropped down to around 1 billion. It is predicted to still be the most populated country, however. By then, China's population may have even halved, down to around 730 million, and will actually have been leapfrogged by Nigeria. So unless Nigeria can overtake India somehow, then it is likely that no human alive today will see another country replace India's reign at the top. Unless an external event happens that causes a mass loss of life. Hopefully not though. So how do India and China compare? Is there anything they have in common, other than their population? Let's find out. So at the time of making this video, both China and India have a population of around 1.425 billion, with India's population now incrementally beating the Chinese. The average person's age in China is 38.4, about the same as that of the USA's. India, on the other hand, is significantly lower, in fact around a decade lower on average at 28.7 years. India's life expectancy is around 70.4 years, ranking them 136th highest in the world. China's life expectancy is decently higher at 77.4 years. Meaning the average person from China can expect to live a whole 7 years more than the average Indian. It is worth noting, however, that China's life expectancy has increased substantially in the last few decades. What hasn't increased during that time, however, is China's fertility rate, or how many children women give birth to, which is 1.28, one of the lowest in the world, and nowhere near enough to maintain its population. India's fertility rate, on the other hand, is just over 2, which again isn't particularly high, considering you need a fertility rate of 2.1 to maintain your population. Religion is one avenue where China and India differ significantly. Around 3/4 of Chinese people are either non-religious or follow Chinese folk religion. Outside of this, the most followed religion is Buddhism, with around 15% of the population following it. India couldn't be any more different, as just 0.25% of its population follow no religion. As India's population is so large, this figure still counts for around 3.5 million people. That's more than the entire population of countries like Mongolia, Qatar, or Jamaica. Around 80% of India's population are Hindus. That's over 1 billion people. The next two biggest religions are Islam and Christianity at 14 and 2% respectively. Now, depending on your source, China has a lot of cities with over 1 million population. Some figures say 155, some say 110, and some say 130. So we can pretty much guarantee that the real figure is over 100 as a minimum. This is just so hard to wrap your head around. India, on the other hand, is said to have somewhere in the range of 48 to 53 cities with over 1 million population, showing that China is much more urbanized. Now, the way China determines what a city is different to the rest of the world, so this next one is a little difficult to compare. But by metro area, India is home to the 3rd, 5th and 16th most populated cities on Earth, with Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata, with 29, 24 and 14 million people respectively. China doesn't really do metro area, but instead city proper. For this measurement, it is home to the 3 most populated cities on Earth, and 6 of the 10. The 3 most populated cities are then Chongqing, Shanghai, and Beijing, with 32, 25, and 22 million respectively. If we were to combine the population of these 3 cities, this would give us 79 million people. This combined amount of people would rank them in the top 20 most populated countries if they were a single country. That's a higher population than that of France, the UK, or Thailand. Combined, India and China account for over a third of all humans on Earth. So if you were to pick 100 random humans from across the planet, statistically around 33 of them would be Chinese or Indian. That is just bonkers, honestly. Geographically, India is located in South Asia, bordered by Pakistan to the west, China and Nepal to the north, Bhutan to its northeast, and Bangladesh and Myanmar to its east. The Indian Ocean lies to the south of the country. India's geography is very diverse, featuring a variety of landscapes such as mountains, plains, plateaus, and coastlines. The northern part of India is dominated by the Himalayan mountain range, which includes the highest peak in the world. The southern part of India is mostly composed of plateaus and plains with a few mountain ranges. India has a tropical climate, which means that it is generally hot and humid throughout the year, with temperatures varying according to the season. There are 3 main seasons in India: summer, monsoon, and winter. Summers are hot and dry, with temperatures reaching over 40 degrees Celsius in many parts of the country. Monsoons occur from around June to September, bringing very heavy rainfall to parts of the country. Winters are generally cool and dry, with temperatures dropping below 0 degrees Celsius in some parts. India is home to a range of amazing wildlife, from tigers to elephants to leopards and even rhinos. The region where China is found is classed as East Asia. China actually sets the equal record for the country bordering the most amount of countries, alongside Russia. China is bordered by 14 other countries, including Russia itself. China has a very varied geography, just like India, with different regions featuring different landscapes. The country has towering mountain ranges such as the Himalayas in the southwest and the Tan Shan in the northwest. And it is also home to the Gobi Desert to the north, as well as large plains such as the North China Plain and the Yangtze River Basin. Also, just like India, China has a diverse climate due to its size and varied geography. In general, the country experiences 4 seasons, with hot summers and cold winters. China is also prone to natural disasters such as earthquakes, typhoons, and floods, which are often related to its geography. Just like India, China also has amazing wildlife, with its most iconic being the giant panda. It also has tigers and other rare animals like the clouded leopard. When it comes to economy, China, well, wipes the floor with India. At the time of making this video, the IMF places China's economy at around 19 trillion US dollars. Let's just say 20 trillion, the second highest in the world. India's, on the other hand, is around 3.7 trillion, so let's just say 4 trillion, so around 5 times smaller than China's, yet they have the same population. This gives China a GDP per capita of around 14,000 US dollars, the 64th highest in the world, placing them above Argentina and in fact just above the world average of 13,400 US dollars. India, on the other hand, places significantly lower, in 139th place, with a GDP per capita of just 2,600 US dollars, placing them above Nicaragua and Congo. Now, this is so hard to visualize as there are so many wealthy people in India. Of course, they do have a huge population, but they have around 169 billionaires and around 800,000 millionaires. There is a lot of wealth in India, but there is also a lot of poverty too. China was dirt poor throughout the 20th century, seeing extremely low GDP per capita rates, like just 318 US dollars in 1990. Then, by the turn of the century, this number exploded and is continuing to. So there we have it, China and India compared. What are your thoughts on these two countries? Just like with population, will India one day overtake the Chinese in terms of economy size? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching today's video.